This era of economic uncertainty has some of America's casual dining staples struggling or shutting down completely. But one, Red Lobster, is making a triumphant comeback. The nearly 60-year-old chain filed bankruptcy back in 2024. Then Damola Adamolekun, excuse me if I didn't do that right, took over as CEO and proved Americans still have an appetite for casual dining. And yes, those Cheddar Bay biscuits. CBS News MoneyWatch correspondent Kelly O'Grady joining us live now. So you sat down with the CEO and obviously helped me pronounce the name. And he also talked about the Cheddar biscuits as well. But what did he have to say?
Yes, Damola Adamolekun. He's the CEO of Red Lobster, youngest in the history. And he shared with me all of the changes that they've been making since Red Lobster filed for bankruptcy last year. You know, I said to him, I was like, look, a lot of people thought this was dead in the water come a year ago. What has he done? Here was his answer, as well as a bit of our conversation, Jules.
The most important thing I did was probably at the very beginning, which was getting the team galvanized around a mission and a strategy and getting them focused on turning the page from what had been a very difficult, past few months, obviously. So, you can't make a comeback like this without the team believing in a future. So you mentioned the guests thought the company was dead. A lot of people who worked there were worried that the company was dead, right? Yeah. So we had to show a path forward. It involved a lot of investment from Fortress, the owners of the company, a clear strategy, investing in the guests, investing in the team. And then once you have people fired up to make a change, it's amazing what can be done.
I love that you highlight the culture, because I think that's a lot of times something that people misses. I've been involved in turnarounds before as well, and that is so important. If people don't believe in your mission, I mean, it's going to be really hard to get them to smile for the guests. Are you, though, in the future considering any kind of sort of tech changes, updating the experience for the guests that way?
It's important, right? Because we talk about what matters to the guests, and a big part of it is service and hospitality. Service is the things that people do to take care of you. Hospitality is how you make people feel. Both are important. So we spent a lot of time around the hospitality side of it. We rolled out red carpet hospitality, which is recognize, engage, and delight, right? So make sure people feel welcome and feel taken care of in our restaurants. At the same time, the service piece is important too, which is convenience, speed of service, getting drinks out quickly, getting food out quickly.
Drinks out quickly are important.
It's important, and these are the areas where technology can help.
I'm glad you brought up the consumer, because we talk about consumer confidence falling off a cliff these past few months. Restaurant owners that we're talking to say, hey, guests aren't coming in as much. The Campbell CEO, right, they just reported earnings. People are eating at home more. What are you seeing in terms of foot traffic in a Red Lobster?
Well, I think when the economy becomes either the economy is down or it's just uncertain. Even uncertainty can impact the consumer. That's the word of the year. They just don't know what's happening. They don't know how their jobs are going to fare. They don't know how much money they're going to make. They don't know how things are going to look in 12 months. When you have uncertainty, people tend to be just much more selective about where they spend money. It's not like spending stops, but they become much more choosy about where they go. So it becomes about differentiating yourself and making your proposition worthwhile for the guests to spend that hard-earned money and come in for that meal where they might be not choosing as many places. They're going to still go to their favorites, right? So it's about cracking the favorites list.
I'm going to push you, though, because you gave me a general answer there. Okay. Are you seeing any changes? Is Red Lobster on the favorite list? Are people tipping less, ordering smaller dishes? Kind of what's the sort of very tangible thing that you're seeing?
Well, our situation is unique, because we're coming out of bankruptcy. We had a major drop during bankruptcy. So for us, we've improved traffic relative to where we were in September.
Okay.
But that's relative to a unique starting place for us, right? Yeah. So I think my sense is overall, when you talk to people in the industry and talking to our guests and our team members, again, traffic is soft when you can track consumer sentiment in restaurant traffic, and it's going to look pretty nice together, right? It's going to be a pretty linear tracking. So when people feel uncertain or uncomfortable or negative, they're going to spend less, and we're a discretionary business, so that's going to impact our business.
What about tariffs? I mean, every interview I do, I have to ask about this. It's the word of the year, beyond uncertainty. You import a lot of seafood. That's not something you can stockpile. How are you navigating the uncertainty of it all, but also the cost challenges that this could present?
So, we had to move quickly, right? The announcement was made on April 2nd. We had about a week until those tariffs were meant to take effect. Now, that was delayed and paused, but at the time, we had to, really make some decisions quickly. And so we shifted some things in the supply chain to be in more favorable places and places that were likely to strike deals and improve the overall tariff rates, right? So there's the overall environment is difficult, but there's also relative difficulty from country to country. Right. Some countries are in better positions and some are a lot worse. So we shifted where we could.
Now, Jules, I've got one piece of breaking news for you that I saved just for this moment. I asked him about the Cheddar Bay biscuits, and he said they're not going anywhere. That was the one thing that he felt, wow, they really got that right. That's here to stay.
I like his style. Great interview. Thank you so much, Kelly O'Grady. See you soon.